Trying to center off with Eckerly, and he just missed the net. O'Reilly with the shot. Far down, he scored!
Come from behind for a month. Now with the lead, they're getting a little wobbly. Philadelphia, they won't get him! Wow! Edwards pulls up and buries a flag! Her three right on the money. Daniels takes his shot for Darby.
Scalaboo carries. Gain of 16. Chapin's pass to 24 lead. Gain of 21.
Perfect. Perfect. There you go, Nisha. Pull the string. Shot. Oh.
And welcome into Pitchfork Launch. Yes, I am Michael Caratino at Diablo00 on X, artist formerly known as Twitter. You can see the show live here every day. Well, Monday through Friday, usually 12 to 1. Today, we're going from 1 to 2. A little issue. I don't know if you guys can see this. I don't want to put it up by itself, but I did not know a finger could bleed so much. So there was a little issue with this scheduling and recording issue because of this, and it's just a finger. And you guys know me, yeah, somebody gets hurt, all kidding aside, from, another team, another school. I'm like, hey, just rub some dirt on it. But at the same time, I didn't know a finger could bleed so much, but I'll just leave it at that. I don't need to bore you. But yes, welcome into Victory Monday. Like I said, at Diablo00 on X, artist formerly known as Twitter, my IG, michael.caratino.5. You can see the show live there, obviously, on my Instagram. And Pitchfork Lunchers, I know I tell you every day, the YouTube channel. Yes, go to YouTube, Michael Caratino, but the channel, when you go there, it's M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Cat 005 at MVC005 on YouTube, and subscribe, because if you missed Friday's show, you missed a phenomenal, I don't even call it an interview, just a phenomenal conversation with longtime golf head coach. Well, 10 years now, but again, been an assistant coach, been part of the program for over 2 decades, Missy Farkay, and just obviously, yes, what she does with her team and them being competitive, but all she's done, obviously her sister Heather Farr, who was a golf legend here too, but Missy Farkay, and unfortunately, we talked about that, how she's an advocate for breast cancer awareness, because unfortunately she did lose her older sister to that. But Heather had played golf here and was just very dominant, was on the LPGA tour. But Missy Farkay was the first to um, 1990, it was the first championship golf team, and she was part of that. And it started the decade. It was the decade of the Sun Devils. Decade of the Devils, just absolutely crushed it. 6 championships, including 3 in a row, almost 4. But still, like, it launched that. And then she won as a player, and then came back as an assistant coach, the team won a national title as an assistant coach. And then she won a national title as a head coach, and a great chance to do that again. And yeah, so doing it at all levels and just continuing it. And, I talked to her, like I said, about that. And if you got to see it, but not that other coaches don't care. And I'm not saying they're all, it's the 1 foot out of the door, syndrome. But when you're an alum, does it mean more? Just the way she talked about it. I mean, and they're in Minnesota today. They're getting kicked off. Yes, I mean, it pretty much goes, the grunt of their schedule is in the spring. But yes, these all count, as she educated me, because I just thought that these were more so like spring training for baseball. Or, you could say like scrimmages for basketball. That was just one of those things. But that being said, it's one of those things where it does count, and they're in Minnesota, getting underway today. So that is just, again, very, very awesome for that. So again, YouTube, subscribe at MVC005. M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Cat, 005 on YouTube. Subscribe away, and you'll get to catch that phenomenal conversation. Also, like I said, Victory Monday all around. You saw football right there. You saw soccer right there. Coach Winkworth and his team heading into conference play, which starts this week, as they will head to BYU. They got 3 on the road. They aren't home again until September 26th. But Utah Tech yesterday, the game was supposed to be at 1. They moved it up to 11. And guess what? It was 1-0 ASU, and then Utah Tech got a late goal. And Pauline Nelson, again, such a phenomenal goalie. And we'll hear from Coach Winkworth, because the goal that went in, again, it was off a set piece, and just the way the wind was blowing, and it can play the ball can play tricks on a goalie. Not even so, kind of play tricks with the way it moves, right? So if you think about it that way, but yeah, it was it came into the 18 on a set piece that hung up, and from where I was, it looked like she may have even got a little piece of it, but it went in. But nonetheless, and that was in the 85th minute, so basically, or the 86th minute, so 4 minutes to score. And guys, I showed it to you off the top, but we shall see it again as the goal. Cameron Valadares got the goal and the game winner in the last minute of play, in the 90th minute. She gets the goal, and I mean, you talk about being in the right spot at the right time. And look, I'm gonna bring it back in to show you guys. Just look, the cross comes in. She goes up, and it's like she reads her teammate. You can see, I'll go back by frame. So as it comes in, see, when you go slow, it won't let me. All right. Oops. You see the cross, and it's like her teammate jumps up, she punches it back. It ricochets off the defender, and then she's able to put it in. I mean, right spot, right time. But again, you got to get a goal, and Valadares delivers. Oops. Alone again, up and down, and her teammate goes up and she blocks it. Look, he goes off the defender. Nobody steps to her, and she blasts it into the upper part of the net, and that gives the Devils the 2-1 victory. Absolutely phenomenal there. Also, Cam Scataboo. Hello, Mr. Where is it? Yeah, you see him here. Well, I want to show this again, but and again, Coach Dillingham talks here from Coach Dillingham about how plays gets outside and compete. Coach Dillingham and Coach Phil can move the ball down and just flies left foot. There's absolutely no room. You see him slide down there. The crowd just going nuts. So, and then that leads to him, obviously the game he had. Bam! Double ring of the victory bell. Well, 2 rings for 2 wins. But, you look at what he did. This is insane, guys. He had 33 carries. Let this marinate. For 262 yards. No, he did not have a rushing touchdown. You saw on the top of the show, Sam Levitt actually had 2 rushing touchdowns. And the one we saw, he dove across the line. But the first one he scrambled for. But I digress. Scatterboot, 33 carries, right, for 262 yards. 7.9 per carry. Now, fast forward to this when we look at total stats. ASU in rushing, outrushed in the net rushing yards because technically they rushed for 364, but 346 to 24. 346 to 24. And Coach Levy, and we'll hear again from Coach Dillingham post-game about that. One of the shooting stars, young offensive minds in the game, and but the way he's run offense, what his teams have done. Obviously, like I mentioned, he'd been at last week. I talked about he'd been to Oklahoma last year, and just like what under Coach Venables and how his offenses were ranked in this short time of him, being a coordinator. And but yeah, they only rushed for 24 yards, guys. Now, granted, they did pass for 268. And ASU only passed for 269. Sam Levitt was 10 for 20. Coach talks about that too, about his rhythm. And, if not, it's not offense or anything. But if they're saying anything, it's crazy because Sam Levitt, again, the way he executed the game plan with poise, control. And yeah, there was a little bit of a lull, but it was 27-3 at half. They whooped Mississippi State in the first half. And the middle 8, Coach will talk about that too post-game because he talked about it last week, how they just weren't. He wasn't that good in the middle 8 against Wyoming in the opener. And you say, well, they won 48-7. Again, always things to work on. And when you're talking with a head coach, that's again no surprise. That being said, but they did better in the middle 8. And Cam Scatterboot, obviously, like I said, when you have 33 carries for 262 yards, second. My friends, I know, sorry about the Band-Aid, but it did bleed a lot. Second all-time in Sun Devil rushing or Sun Devil history for yards in a game rushing. Eno Benjamin has the most at 312. So, yeah, 50 yards off that, but still. 262, averaging 7.9 per carry. Oh, and who's the AP Player of the Week? Cam Scatterboot. Deservedly so. But and Coach Dillingham actually talked about that today. But we'll hear that tomorrow about it being a team award. But the AP Player of the Week, so forks up to you, Mr. Cam Scatterboot. It was well earned. The offensive line obviously doing a hell of a job up front. Defensively, saw that one play coming in. Shamari Simmons, playing the nickel, just flying up, reading it beautifully. And that was a 4th down play. I want to say it was this one. I'll cue it up for you real quick. It is this one. Sorry. Apologies. Yeah.
Shaman's pass to 24 lead.
but you see with the soccer, you look at the replay, kind of get that for you. And after the game, bam, comes in, undercuts him, knees down, contact, and Simmons again just making an awesome play. And so the defense, again, like I said, at halftime, guys, it was 27-3. Now, granted, Mississippi State did outscore ASU 20-3 in the second half, but Coach talks about that, the two middle scores. And there's going to be lulls. There's going to be adjustments. How do you respond to adversity? Well, special teams did. Ian Hershey, 3 for 3, who had, kind of a little bit of a sputter start last week, but Ian Hershey crushing it, right? And then Kenyon Floyd punting. I mean, definitely flipping field position. We'll hear Coach talk about that. Absolutely awesome. Again, what they were able to do. So 2-0, get to more of it, more in the show. And then also, like I said, soccer, but hello, volleyball. Are we not 6-0? Head coach JJ Van Niel and this awesome squad absolutely forks up to Sun Devil Women's Volleyball as they, took care of business in at the Love Invitational in the first weekend, last weekend. And this past weekend, again, the Jack Talmadge Volleyball Classic hosted by the Toreros of the University of San Diego. And the Devils, 3 matches, 3 wins. Friday night, they beat UC Santa Barbara 3-1. Saturday, they beat the hosts, USD, 3-1. And then yesterday, they figure, let's get out of here quick. They beat St. John's in 3 sets to none. This team has only dropped in 6 match wins. They've only dropped 3 sets. So looking good. Now they head to Nebraska this week, kind of a short week for them too. Same with football. Obviously, football will be playing Texas State Thursday, as we know, on the road in San Marcos. And but volleyball is playing Wichita State Thursday. This is the Nebraska Classic, all in Lincoln, Nebraska. Is playing Wichita State Thursday, playing Nebraska on Friday at 5 p.m., and then Long Beach State on a Saturday, 9 a.m. local time. All these times are local time. So in Nebraska on Thursday, we said they play at 4 here. It'll be 6 there. Friday, it's a 7 p.m. First serve playing Nebraska. And then Saturday, 11 a.m. local time there in Nebraska, but 9 a.m. here. So very early. And it will be absolutely awesome. See what they can do. Again, Nebraska's the national powerhouse. We saw what they did last year. I know I talked about it on the show, my Pitchfork Lunchers, how they actually played that match against Creighton in the football stadium, and they were able to had over 93,000 people. 93,000 people. It's just insane to me. So, yeah, that part, absolutely awesome. And that's where ASU will be. So, yeah, I mean, you can definitely check them out. There, I'll talk more about it, obviously, as the week goes on. Dive into it. We'll dive into soccer, too, as well. As they, like I said, they start conference play, and they're taking on BYU. So, that being said, but yeah, we'll take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to hear from Coach Dillingham after Saturday night's 30-23 over Mississippi State. First ever win. I kind of buried that. I talked about it so much Saturday night, but first ever win. I know I talked about it last week, but yes, first ever win for ASU over an SEC team. So, that part just absolutely awesome. So we're going to step aside, but when we get back, we'll hear from Sun Devil head coach Kenny Dillingham here on Pitchfork Lunch. And here I am, back here on Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, I am Michael Caratenuto at Diablo00 on X, artist formerly known as Twitter. You can also check out the show live on my IG, usually Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. Today, again, with this finger. And again, I know this looks like a Band-Aid on it. I didn't know a finger could bleed so much, and I'm not, like, freaked out by blood. But anyway, Pitchfork Lunchers, I appreciate your patience today, and we'll be back at it again, same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow. But nonetheless, we were all on ASU 2-0 again. Like I said, they outrushed Mississippi State 346-24. So the defense, again, what Coach Ward did, the pressure they got on, the defensive touchdown, I buried that up top. CJ Fight had a defensive touchdown, and Clayton Smith, again, with the pressure, he came in. I know for you guys that watched it, again, I'm excited, but it looked like Blake Shapen was down, and again, he was like trying to get rid of the ball in just a bad position. And, you know, if you're a Bears fan, you saw that yesterday too, is how they you saw that yesterday as well, is how they if you're a Bears fan, you love Titans fan, you can't stand what Will Levis did, but because you're just trying to throw it away, trying to make a play. But guess what? You can't make that play because, and it's a pick six yesterday, but yeah, it was his arm. It looked like it was going forward, but then when the ball came out, the refs didn't blow the whistle, and all forks up props to friend of the program, CJ Fight, a Tempe Texan, as they'll be headed to Texas. So a lot of those Tempe Texans headed home this weekend. But yeah, CJ Fight, like at the angle, he scooped it up in his momentum, and he just sticks it. He gets it inside the pylon, breaks the plane, but it's inside the pylon. Absolutely phenomenal. So that being said, let's hear from Coach Dillingham, though, after Saturday night's victory. But yeah, sorry about that. Let's hear from Coach Dillingham on his team's victory Saturday night. We will hear shortly. Sorry.
He said
There it's going.
Felt disrespected by three of my friends.
There
we just talked about that aspect of the game and then how he performed.
Yeah, our guys have been working hard, and I mean, inside run's been a bloodbath all spring ball, fall camp, and when our guys are in the locker room saying, "Let's make this inside run period," right? That's when you know, like, there's a mindset about it, and I think they did that. They played hard, they played with a passion, and we ran the ball, and I feel bad for 10 over here because part of when you run the ball like that, and then you have that lead like that, right? You get out of a rhythm at quarterback. It's impossible to keep him in a rhythm. So now we're forcing him to play out of rhythm in his second start in college football. And then people, see him throw an incompletion. They're like, "Oh, why didn't you complete it?" Yeah, he's in no rhythm because we're running the ball. Like, that's not how you actually lead to quarterback success. So really weird flow of the game because in the second half they had such quick touchdowns that kept them in it there in those last three possessions, or 3 out of the last 4 possessions there. And that really got our quarterback out of a rhythm, and that's not his fault. That's my fault because I kept saying, keep running the ball. Right? We got the game right where we wanted. We got the dub because of it. It just not conducive to like a good stat line or, you know, a good performance. You're never going to look at that. And that's not his fault. That's my fault.
Michelle up front and Doug.
Michelle Gardner, Arizona. Coach, you talked about overcoming adversity. We didn't have a lot of adversity in the first game. So your take on how your team responded in that regard tonight?
Yeah, I mean, even though it probably lost 3 months off my life, our team needed that. We needed to get hit in the face. We needed to have to get back up. We got really comfortable. We drove the ball 8 minutes on the first drive. I mean, you look at how we won the middle 8. I mean, we had the ball with about 6 minutes left to go in the first half. We drove down, scored to essentially end the half, 7 points, get the ball back, take 8.5 minutes off the clock, get 3 points. We had the ball consecutively for about 14 game minutes there in the middle of the game, and that's unbelievable management by our offensive coaches and our offensive staff to keep their offense off the field for that long and get 10 points. But for us to get hit back in the mouth and then have to get up, that's what I was proud of. And we got up with a vengeance, and we needed that because we're not going to have 17, 24-point leads every halftime, right? We're going to be in some dogfights, and we got to be able to go back and forth with counter punches. And I think today we finally had to punch back.
Doug in the left.
Doug Franz Unplugged podcast. Take me through the 2 fourth down decisions you had in the fourth quarter. 4th and 6 before the one play 80-yard drive, and then the 4th down that you went for it on 4th and 1 pretty deep in your own territory. How much did you hesitate on either decision? What was the conversation? Talk me through that.
No hesitation. It's 4th and 1. Like, get it. Like, go get it. Like, hand it to our best player, block him, and go get it. We're running the ball well, right? Let's go get it. We're going to try to win the football game and be aggressive winning the football game. If the flow of the game is running the ball well, then that plays into our strengths. Yeah, I mean, that was it. Zero flinch, zero question. It was, hey, if we get to less than 2 here, go for it.
And did you think about going for it on 4th and 6 before that?
No, that's a little much. Just with the flow of the game, with what our strength was in the game and how the flow was, that wasn't a down and distance where our calls, I felt like, were quite as good as when we were in those short yardage situations.
Last week you said the 4-minute drill was the worst part of the game. What does it show to you that they can come back 1 week later and execute what was arguably the perfect 4-minute drill?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, we literally in our meeting today, or on a Friday, we do like a Friday focus or like football 101 type stuff. And I said, listen, we're going to get the ball back with 6 minutes. And our goal is to score with under 25 seconds, right, and get 7 points. That's our goal. And then we get the ball in the second half and go score again. And the fact that we got it in somewhat that time frame with 0 timeouts, which make it way more difficult to manage the clock and the flow, because you can't just run it and call timeouts. Now they called a timeout, which definitely did help us from that perspective, be able to run different calls and change personnel groupings. But that's what we talked about, and we executed it, and we responded from last week. Unbelievable job. That 14 minutes straight of our offense on the field, right? That's the difference in the football game. That 10 points right in the middle there, right? You take away those 10 points in the middle, right? That swing. It's just we don't go into halftime with a 24-point lead. I mean, we don't get to a 27-point lead. So unbelievable job by those guys.
Michael, over here.
And then, Coach, on CJ's touchdown on that play, it just seemed like everybody, see the sack and the ball may have come out, and even Mississippi State was letting up from your angle. I mean, did you see it was a fumble, and your just thoughts on CJ just playing out the whole play?
Playing out the play. Same thing we keep preaching, right? We're going to play the ball. We're going to play hard. We're going to play passionate. And I think we did that for, let's say 35 minutes of the game. I think there was a lull where we got comfortable. And I think that lull was how we practiced on Tuesday for the first 14 periods, is we just got comfortable, right? And that dog wasn't there. It was just comfort. And it was a great learning lesson for us that you can't get comfortable in a football game. There is no comfort. Until the whistle blows that says the game is over, you can't be comfortable.
Up front, Patrick.
You used Cam out of the backfield a couple times in the receiving game, and it kind of seemed to get Sam a little bit more settled down in rhythm. Is this something you kind of want to try to apply going forward, or it's just kind of whatever pace of the game is?
Yeah, I mean, just whatever the calls are, they keep him in rhythm. Like I said, we were in such a run-heavy, that was the most I probably ever rushed the ball in my career in terms of rush to pass ratio. We're fairly balanced. I know Coach Royal's a quarterback guy, so that was a kind of an anomaly, to be honest, in terms of offensive football, right? We want to be balanced like we were last week, but at the end of the day, we were running the ball well. That's what's the definition of insanity, right? Isn't that expecting a different result when you do the same thing? So if the result is good, you should probably keep doing it, right? And that was kind of the mindset there. And 2 drives, like I said, they hopped into it, but we didn't put our quarterback in position to be in a rhythm there, because we thought we had a big enough lead that if we continued to run the ball and got 1 or 2 first downs on those next drives, it would have stayed a 2 or 3 possession game. The problem was we went 3 and out twice, and then we gave up a big play touchdown. If we don't have absolute catastrophe in those 3 drives, the worst 3 drives you could possibly have offensively and defensively, then that game's a 14, 17-point game, and it's no stress-free. We just got to do a better job in that middle period.
The offensive and defensive line dominated most of the night. You guys came from the trenches. How proud are you of just both of those units and how they performed all night long, just stopping the run and opening holes in the first half?
Yeah, super proud. I mean, those guys are playing really, really good football right now. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I'd be shocked if we were not over 580 yards rushing this year and less than 80 given up, less than 90 given up. You're going to win a lot of football games if that's your ratio, right? And now we've got to be able to pick it up in the passing game, which we will do. Like I said, I did a bad job. I'm over there telling Coach Royal, keep running it, they can't stop it, right? And that's the head coach side of me, but I'm forgetting that I ruined everything with the quarterback's rhythm, and that was a bad job by me. Should have just kept letting them kind of go with the flow and keep calling the game how he was calling it.
Jesse. Coach, a bigger picture question. Just last week you talked about how y'all never beat an SEC team, and then wanting the same kind of crowd as last week again. Just what does this win with the crowd showing up what they did again just kind of mean overall for the program?
Yeah, I think it's the first time in school history 10,000 students in the student section, back-to-back games, which is awesome. And you can feel the energy in the stadium. This is a fun place to be in when it's rocking. And hopefully, we can go out and play good football on the road the next 2 weeks and come back to another rocking stadium.
Coach, Adam Beal, single source. Ian Hershey went 3 for 3 in his field goal attempts tonight. How good was it to see him be efficient out there?
Awesome. His kick at the beginning of the third quarter was crucial. That's what made it a 4-possession game. Because it was 24, that's 8 times 3, 24, go for 2 every time, right? But that made it the 27-point game, which then made it 4 possessions, and that was the critical kick just in terms of the thought process of what they have to do offensively now. Like I said, the problem was after that, we just had 2 offensive series and 2 defensive series of absolute catastrophe, which is the only reason they got to come back in the game. If we would have gotten 1 first down or 2 first downs in those 2 drives, or 1 stop, or not a touchdown on the 1 4th down they went to, and we called double-A gap blitz with an adder, and we didn't add, otherwise it'd be tackle in the backfield. But yeah, it was upsetting that little bit of the middle period, and we got to clean it up.
We got Elliott, Jordan, and then
Coach, what were you saying to Cam throughout the game, specifically in that 4th quarter when he was able to kind of ice things and put the game away for you guys?
First, it was we're going to hand you the ball, and we're going to keep doing that because that's working, right? And then second was the last time I told you to slide to win a game, you scored. Make sure you slide, right? And that was UCLA. And he ran as far as he could. He could have scored a touchdown, and he slid. And that's the growth that he's had, is Scat of last year goes and scores and gives them a chance to have 2 minutes left to go in the game to go down and score, kick an onside kick and try to win. Scat of this year falls down, we take 3 knees, we win the football game. That's the growth he's made as a person.
Jordan in the back.
Hey Coach, how did Canyon and Parker impact the field position game to help get you that win?
Drastically different than last year, and they didn't return 1 kickoff. Boots it out, boots it out, boots it out, and our punts were clean, and they were fast, and they were coming after him, and they were all out pressure, and they knew we weren't going to fake it. with that lead backed up, right? And they were coming after it, and it was great for our guys to see max pressures and we can still get it off. Doesn't matter what they bring, if we do it right and you just do your job, right, you'll never get a puck blocked. If everybody just does their job, right, you're not gonna pump. There's no scheme that can block it, right? They have to run through 300-pound people. We all just do our job, we snap it right, we put it on time, we keep our operation time low, we can put it versus everything.
Hey, Kenny. You and your players obviously made the fact well known that this program is now being an SEC team. For you to have gone to the school, for you to have coached here, for you to now be the head coach, how does it feel for you to be in the position that you're in and have this kind of historic win on your resume?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool, but like I told our guys in the locker room, like, I didn't even know that stat until Doug told me a week ago. Like, we didn't like, hey, let's train really hard to be the first team to, no, we didn't do that. We needed to be the very best team we could possibly be, and we play in 5 days. So I told them, celebrate, you should. Have fun, celebrate with each other, be smart, make decisions, right? When you wake up tomorrow, it's over. Like, you get your morning to get all your retweets in, right? Do your retweets, do your little Insta quotes, and do all your stuff that you want to do, right? That feels really, really good. And then later in the week, we'll do our little recap. We post out how great we were, right? And that's it. That's all you get. You have till tomorrow when we get back to work, right, at about 2 o'clock to really celebrate this thing. And then we're going to put it to bed, move on to Texas State, and then you get one more little quote tweet of the cool little video we post, right? And we're moving on because we got a really good team we play on Thursday night.
Hey, Coach, Brian Ward, your defense today seemed to come in with a really aggressive game plan. It felt like in the first half they were blitzing every other play. Can you kind of explain like what the thought process going in for the game plan was and why you guys thought to play so aggressively?
Yeah, well, I coach offense, and I don't like people blitzing me every other play, right? I mean, well, you have to have a plan for it, and it's good, and it is what it is. But when you have a defense that pitches to you, we want to be the pitcher on defense, right? We don't want to be the batter. We don't want to be reacting to curveballs and split fingers and knuckleballs and all that crap, right? Or the young Kim underhander, right? For the long time ago Diamondback fans, we don't want all that, right? We want to pitch. We want to be the aggressor. We want to throw the pitches, right? And guess what? Are they going to get us sometimes? Are they going to feel the curveball or the changeup coming? Yeah, they are. They are. They're going to get us. But you know what? I want to be an aggressive defense, and I think we showed that tonight early. And I mean, first half we outscored them, and to hold that team, and I think a Jeff Lebby offense, I would love to see how many Jeff Lebby offenses have been held to that net of yards and points in his career, because that's one of the best offensive coaches in college football. And I would love, I don't know the direct stat, but I would love to do the research on that with Jeff, and because he is a phenomenal football coach, and to hold his types of offenses to that amount of points is pretty good football.
Couple more. Sorry, here.
Can you talk about what Cam Scattergood means to you in this program and his historic night?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, he has so much passion. I mean, the guys feed off the passion. And I think that's the key to our football team is we play hard right now. Other than those, like I said, that middle period, I thought we got laxed and comfortable. But our guys love football. I mean, it sounds so simple. They just love football, right? They love to compete. And he's the ultimate competitor.
Coach, Ryan Myers, Devil's Digest. Is there a point, obviously last week you guys had a very spread out running game, but this week, was there a point where you were just like, hey, let's get the ball to number 4 and keep feeding him over and over again?
Yes. Yeah, there was. In the middle of the second quarter, when I looked up and it was 140 yards rushing and he had like 120. right? You'll never get a punt blocked. Everybody just does their job, right? You're not gonna pump. There's no scheme that they're blocking, right? They have to run through 300-pound people. We all just do our job. We snap it right. We put it on time. We keep our operation time low. We can put it versus everything.
Hey Kenny, you and your players obviously made the fact well known that this program is now being an SEC team. For you to have gone to the school, for you to have coached here, for you to now be the head coach, how does it feel for you to be in the position that you're in and have this kind of historic win on your resume?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool, but like I told our guys in the locker room, like, I didn't even know that stat until Doug told me a week ago. Like, we didn't like, hey, let's train really hard to be the first team to, no, we didn't do that. We needed to be the very best team we could possibly be, and we play in 5 days. So I told them, celebrate, you should. Have fun, celebrate with each other, be smart, make decisions, right? When you wake up tomorrow, it's over. Like, you get your morning to get all your retweets in, right? Do your retweets, do your little Insta quotes, and do all your stuff that you want to do, right? That feels really, really good. And then later in the week, we'll do our little recap. We post out how great we were, right? And that's it. That's all you get. You have till tomorrow when we get back to work, right, at about 2 o'clock to really celebrate this thing. And then we're going to put it to bed, move on to Texas State, and then you get one more little quote tweet of the cool little video we post, right? And we're moving on because we got a really good team we play on Thursday night.
Hey Coach, Brian Warden, your defense today seemed to come in with a really aggressive game plan. It felt like in the first half they were blitzing every other play. Can you kind of explain like what the thought process going in for the game plan was and why you guys thought to play so aggressively?
Yeah, well, I coach offense, and I don't like people blitzing me every other play, right? I mean, well, you have to have a plan for it, and it's good, and it is what it is. But when you have a defense that pitches to you, we want to be the pitcher on defense, right? We don't want to be the batter. We don't want to be reacting to curveballs and split fingers and knuckleballs and all that crap, right? Or the young Kim underhander, right? For the long time ago Diamondback fans, we don't want all that, right? We want to pitch. We want to be the aggressor. We want to throw the pitches, right? And guess what? Are they going to get us sometimes? Are they going to feel the curveball or the changeup coming? Yeah, they are. They are. They're going to get us. But you know what? I want to be an aggressive defense, and I think we showed that tonight early. And I mean, first half we outscored them, and to hold that team, and I think a Jeff Lebby offense, I would love to see how many Jeff Lebby offenses have been held to that net of yards and points in his career, because that's one of the best offensive coaches in college football. And I would love, I don't know the direct stat, but I'd love to do the research on that with Jeff. And because he is a phenomenal football coach, and to hold his types of offenses to that amount of points is pretty good football.
A couple more. Sorry. Here.
Kenny, can you talk about what Cam Scattergood means to you in this program and his historic night?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, he has so much passion. I mean, the guys feed off the passion. And I think that's the key to our football team is we play hard right now. Other than those, like I said, that middle period, I thought we got lax and comfortable. But our guys love football. I mean, it sounds so simple. They just love football, right? They love to compete. And he's the ultimate competitor.
Coach, Ryan Myers, Devil's Digest. Is there a point, actually, obviously last week you guys had a very spread out running game, but this week, was there a point where you were just like, hey, let's just get the ball to number 4 and keep feeding him over and over again?
Yes. Yeah, there was. In the middle of the second quarter, when I looked up and it was 140 yards rushing and he had like 120 and 8 yards of carry, and I'm watching us run wide zone versus the out front and getting on a post and getting on a cover 2 safety, and like, yeah, let's keep doing that, please. Let's make them change it. And kudos to them, you know, they get picked to coach too. They're in the, after the first drive of the second half, they came out and they just said, screw it, we're gonna get into our big people and force you to throw it. So they got us there. And I got a little stubborn probably with Coach Arroyo. I probably put too many handcuffs on him just in terms of I want to run the ball. And I got to do a better job because I feel like that's why our offense stalled. It wasn't anything with Coach Arroyo. It wasn't anything with Sam. It was me kind of putting handcuffs on us. And I got to get out of their way.
Chris.
Kenny, you didn't have Dorva, Brooke,
Clark, Tate Romney,
Welch. What does it say about the performance that you had, given that maybe 20% of your duty was in
next man up? Like that's what we're about. We work. Like our guys practice. You guys are at the practices. Like our practices aren't like, what is it, like cupcakes and rainbows. Like we get after that thing. Like we practice, and practice should be harder than the game. So I think when you have that mindset and you guys do that, the fact that with all those guys out and we performed how we performed, I'm excited. Knock on wood, everybody you just mentioned, everybody that didn't play in today's game should be back. Some will be back for state, some will be back for tech. Everybody should be back during the bye week. Every single person we just mentioned. So we're getting reinforcements back, and that's exciting because we're only going to get better and better and better. And the more our team plays together, the more our young quarterback plays, we're going to grow and grow and grow.
Did it surprise you that it didn't have more explosive plays the first 25 minutes of the game?
I mean, that was the plan, was to limit the explosives. We dominate up front. I felt like we had an advantage up front. So dominate up front, limit the explosives. Kudos to Shamari, got it a big play there on the first slot. They tried to throw on them, and an unbelievable coverage. And our guys were prepared. I think there in the third quarter, they got us. We had a PI on a 2nd and 10. Yep, right. That's not fond of it. Right, I thought it was really good defense. And then we had a defensive holding on a 3rd and 11. I mean, you can't get those types of penalties versus a good offense. I mean, if you don't have those penalties, that's 2 of their drives. That could be 14 points in the game. Getting them off the field in the 4th down, my fault. And then 2nd and 11, 2nd and 12. So I think our guys played really, really well. We can't get penalties like that. And there's certain dynamics for penalties that I'm fully aware of. Just when you play out of conference games, and that's part of it.
Okay, tonight seemed like a perfect storm. There's a guy that stuck around, got rewarded. Camp after a 3-9 season, he's back to work, testing 12 pounds, readies himself for this kind of run. Can you speak to commitment that he showed to the program?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I really challenged him after last year, and I said, listen, if you want to play on Sundays, I've coached 6 backs. I've been lucky, knock on wood. Every back but one of mine since I've been a coordinator has played on Sundays. And that has nothing to do with me. It has to do with I coached good players, right? Lucky me, right? And I said, right now, you're not one. And if you want to be one, you're going to drop weight, right? You're going to get in better shape. You're going to be faster. You're going to control. You're going to control your passion, and you're going to channel it. And he's done everything I've asked him. So right now, that looked like a Sunday player.
Finish up with Kelsey and then Sean.
Hey Coach,
Hello.
congratulations. Hey, congratulations on the win. Last week you talked a lot about the leadership from specifically some of your transfers that were captains. And so at one point in the game towards the end, it could have went one way or another. The momentum started to go their way. So talk a little bit about that leadership, and the players before talked about that O-line conversation was we need to step up. If you could talk a little bit more of the leadership of how we turned that game around and didn't let it get out of our hands.
Yeah, I think those guys just kind of took a deep breath. It's like, whoa, we're winning. And we have the ball. Like, this is way better than the reciprocal. Let's just go finish. Just go play our game, right? And I think that was, we're an emotional team. I'm fully aware of that. Like, we're a passionate team. I'm emotional. I'm passionate, right? So the team's gonna feed off of that. So I think when you're like that, you've got to be able to handle the lows better. And I got to handle the lows better. Our team's gonna handle the lows better. But the fact that we could get out of the low, right, was something we couldn't do last year. We couldn't figure out how to get out of the low. And winning games is all about managing the highs and the low and the waves of the game, right? And the fact that we did have too many lows there in the middle, right? But the fact we figured it out is something that we needed. And we're in year 2. Like, this is the beginning of this process, right? And we need more of that. And it's not ideal because, like I said, it's probably 3 months off my life every single time something like that happens. But for our football team, we need that. We need to have to respond over and over again so we can callous these guys, because the best programs in college football are so accustomed to the waves of the game, that nothing faced them. Look at Oklahoma State today. Prime example, that team just wins. The wave of the game never faced them.
Last one, Sean.
Kenny, coming into this game, you guys kind of knew that Mississippi State's offense was going to play at a high tempo. So, what was your assessment of how your defense kind of kept up with that and showed them that?
I thought they had a phenomenal job there. And shout out, something that not everybody will see, but to Vince Amy. Obviously, Vince played here in '96. Right, he's one of our D-line coaches here. I've been harping on substitution patterns and being a lead at subbing, and he did such a great job subbing the D-line to slow the tempo down when they subbed. And I think that's one of the little things in a game that nobody notices, but that's also one of the things that good teams do. They do all the little crap, right? And that was something that showed up with Vince tonight, was the ability to just sub the slow tempo down was something that was awesome to see and to see it work.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Historically,
My apologies, Pitchfork Lunchers. I do not know where that came from. I started getting messages that when Coach was first playing, before the studio just decided to reboot, that everybody could hear everything Coach saying, but the picture wasn't moving. It was moving for me. Nonetheless, onward and upward. But I didn't realize a bloody finger could cause a domino effect as maddening as this. But yeah, look, you heard it there from Coach Dillingham talking about Coach Ward's defense there at the end, and how, he doesn't like to be blitzed every other play, and what kind of offensive coordinator, what kind of offense does. And, if you're having success, and look, you saw this defensive line in a lot in the first half. And a little battle in the second half, they made adjustments, but this defensive line from ASU put the Mississippi State at times. And that is, again, absolutely so, and really awesome. Because what Coach Moore was able to do, and how the defense again was able to put them on skates. So that being said, just again an overall solid performance. Again, when you hold a team to 24 yards rushing and you rushed for 346, Cam Scatterboot 262, 7.9 per carry, few stops on fourth down, absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. So, again, big fan of all that. So, to me, it's one of those things where when you look at it, again, still a lot to build on. And Texas State, I'm going to talk more about tomorrow. But, yes, I am going we'll talk about that because, it is a very, very good team, is Texas State. They're physical, and we'll hear what Coach has to say, his thoughts about what they might do, and we'll hear from players as well. Also tomorrow, again, I don't know what this issue is, but we will hear from Coach Winkworth on soccer's big win or late victory over Utah Tech as they head into conference play to take on BYU. So again, forks up to the women's soccer team, forks up to volleyball. And yes, forks up to Sun Devil football, 2-0, first ever victory over an SEC squad. That is just absolutely phenomenal, my friends. So, but yes, because technical difficulty, it's smooth now, but I want to get out of here. I don't want to torture you anymore because it's like, again, being like at that school down south and them doing something. So, nonetheless, everybody have a great rest of your Monday. I will see you tomorrow, 12 to 1 again. Same bat time, same normal bat channel. And yes, have the most phenomenal day. And you know it. You guys know it. It's a Sun Devil State. And as always, forks up.
I went to Arizona State. Right. I'm a Sun Devil, man.
The 27-yard line. That's a great call, too. Blake Baker, Plummer will put it up, throws over the middle. Touchdown. Great play.
That's a lane. Trying to center off to Eckerly, and he just missed the net. O'Reilly with the shot. Far down, he scored.
From behind for a month. Now with the lead, they're getting a little wobbly. Philadelphia, they won't get him. Wow.
Edwards